I'm going to work on this today. But before I work on this, I'm going to work on my white Honda. My white Honda has brake issues. So I bought some brake pads. And some brake part cleaner. And I've got some WD-40 as well. Getting ready to jack it up. I've got that block there that I think I'm going to stick under here somehow. Just to, I got that block and another block that I'm going to put with it. So I'll put that under here just in case the jack doesn't hold, or if the car moves and the jack wants to fall. Safety first, always safety first. So I'm going to start on this side. I am the Shadow Man. Alright, where's that other piece of wood that I was looking for? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Ah, there it is. I found it. Okay. Alright. So I'll put this little one on top of that big one out there. And hopefully that'll be enough to hold the car up in case the jack fails. Alright, so this plus that. That might do. What do you think? I think that'll do. Yeah, I think it might do. So I'm going to get that jacked up and loosen the lug nuts. Jack that up, get that wheel off of there, and we'll change some brakes. Alright, so the first thing I need to do is get this car jacked up a little bit. So I got me some cardboard right here between me and the ground, because the ground is still a little moist and I don't want to get really dirty. I'm going to get dirty enough working on these brakes. So I put a 2x4 down on the ground because I know that where I'm sitting here, the weight of the car is going to push the bottom of this jack into the ground. So it's going to push on the 2x4 as well, but the 2x4 has much more surface pushing on the ground. So and it kind of gives me that little extra distance here for jacking up the car. So let me go ahead and get this jacked up a little bit. Then I'm going to loosen those lug nuts on the wheel. So it doesn't always go as fast as you want it to, but you know what? It's better to be slow and safe than fast and not safe. So that's what I'm doing. And before I get the wheel totally off the ground, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to loosen those lug nuts. I don't know. Let me get this over here. Maybe have a better view of it. Here we go. But what I like to do, get all this stuff out of the way. I like to just put that on there, and then I get up and I use the weight of my body and my foot to go ahead and loosen those lug nuts, because it's so much easier than doing it the other way. Just having the weight and my doing it like that loosens it up, so it works great. Now that I've got that done, I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to jack this thing up a little bit more. So anyway, excuse me, I'm going to try to get both sides done as quick as I possibly can. And I'm going to show you guys a couple of tricks. Well, not really tricks, it's just something that a lot of people don't realize you can do to make it go so much easier to get those brake pads replaced. Alright, okay, that's going a little bit better. Okay, see, the wheel's off the ground, so I can run my hand through there. Before I do anything, I'm going to put my big safety mechanism in. I call it a big safety mechanism. It's a couple of big boards, and it looks like I might need another board stuck up in there. I want to get it up there as close to that as I possibly can, so that just in case this jack fails, then the car will come down on top of that, not on top of me or cause damage to the car. So let me go find another piece of board that'll go up in there. Alright, so you can see how I need just a little more wood piece to go in here. Probably a 2x4 would probably work pretty good. So let me go find that. Alright, I'm back in here. Yeah, Joshua had, oh, there's another big nice board right there. I could jack the car up a little bit more and then put that under there, maybe. Or at least I could have that. So I'm going to take both of these and I'm going to see which one I can use. What are you doing, Luna? What are you doing? Huh? You trying to figure out what I'm up to? No, you can't have my camera. No, you don't need to eat. It had sawdust on it, didn't it? What? You don't like that sawdust, huh? Okay. Alright. Let me try that 2x4 first. Yeah, I could jack the car up a little bit more. To put this in there, I don't think there's a need to. I think that 2x4 is going to be perfectly fine. And that's just for the safety. It would drop down maybe not quite half an inch before it hits this, in case the jack fails. So I think we're good to go. Put that there. I'm gonna undo those lug nuts. All right. So let me get that out of the way. There we go. All right, so see that little thing right there? That was, there's little bits of it in there. I believe that was one of these. So you can see where there's something there. That was a little balancing weight, a little lead weight that was there, kind of like these. Oh well. I'm here to change the brakes, not the balancing. So let me go ahead and get this off of there. Oh, come on. Get off. There we go. I got it. Yeah, you can tell how it's been rubbing. See, you can see those lines there. You can tell how I've had metal against metal. I probably should have this kind of honed down a little bit to make it smoother, but I don't have the extra money for that right now. Or I could replace it, but I don't have the extra money right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replace these brake pads and just go from there. But generally what I like to do when I'm down here, you can see where like the plastic has been kind of worn away there. These cars got these plastic front ends. And after you hit a raccoon going 80 miles an hour, you never really tend to get these things back into shape or get them to, you know, work exactly right. So they just slowly come apart. And so anyway, I like to just kind of look around at different things while I'm looking at it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this thing off here. And I've got 2 bolts on the back. You can see 1 bolt right here. So I need to find the socket that fits that. And then there's 1 down at the bottom down. Put my hand on it back here. It's somewhere back there. Oh yeah, just kind of like right up there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find that. Which one is it? It turned out to be the number 17. The 17 millimeter. So I'm going to get that on there. I mean, it's good enough. So what I'm going to do is I got that on there and I'm going to end up hitting it with this to break it loose. Always when I'm working different, so I got to think of it if I'm looking from that way. So right would be that way, so righty-tighty. Left is that way, so lefty-loosey. So I'm going to hit it here and knock it loose. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom down there. Alright, got that one loose. Let me find this one down here. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Alright. Alright, got him on there. Make sure you don't hit your finger. Alright, got that one loose. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of loosen those out. There we go. That was a little tight. Because once you get them loose with the wrench, they generally come out pretty good just by using your fingers and turning it. And that's what that looks like. Make sure to set that there and go ahead and take the top one off. Maybe I'll leave. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that right now, but I might just leave the top one on and just kind of swing that out, because I should be able to swing it out. Because right now it's kind of the brakes are holding, so I should be able to, because I got that loose enough back there. You can see that. See how I got a little bit loose right there? Enough space for that to move. So I'm going to see if I can kind of get these to separate a little bit, and just enough for me to move that out. And I'll show you one of my secrets. Alright, so one thing I can do is I can just stick this in there like that. Just kind of give it a pry. See, it's not going to come off, so I'm gonna kind of course my screwdriver's kind of long. Let me get a shorter screwdriver. Okay, that one's a little bit shorter. I can just put it in there and kind of give it a pry. Sometimes I can do that and it'll loosen it up. See, it's a little bit looser. There we go. There we go. So now I can go ahead and loosen this. And hopefully it won't try to fall to the ground. Come on, loosen up. There it goes. And make sure you keep good track of that. So this will come off easy now. So, alright, so I just want to set that right there for now, and I'm going to show you the brakes. Of course, I'm all dirty. But that's a brake pad, and that's a brake pad. So you can see it up in there. And this thing does not look good. That rubber thing's kind of mucked up, so I might end up having to replace that. I hope not. I might be able to just go ahead and just replace these brake pads and get that done. But you can, right there, you can see where it's been scraping the metal, and you can see where the ceramic brake pad stuff was, and then that's metal, and that's what's been scraping right here. And it doesn't look like the one on the back's been scraping, but this one definitely has. It's been riding like this and scraping right through there. And it has a crunching sound like that when you put it on your brakes. So yeah, that's a problem. But it's good for me to replace these things. And you'll see what the new ones look like here in a little bit. Alright. So I got the brake pads off, the old ones. And you can see that side still had a little bit on it. And this side was worn right here, and that was the grinding sound that I was hearing. And that's it right there. But this thing, I need to be able to put the new brake pads, one on this side and one on this side. Oops, sorry, one up here and one down here, like those were. But the problem is the new ones are much thicker. So the way it's sitting right now isn't going to work very well. So I've got to push this thing back in. And that's the hard thing that most people don't realize. There's an easy way to do it, because most people sit and they fight it and they fight it and they fight it, and then finally they say, oh, I can't do it, and then they go pay a mechanic to do it. but I'm going to show you the secret. Anyway, you need a number 10 wrench, and right here, I don't know if you can see it very well, this little thing right here, you can't see it, can you? Let me adjust the camera. Alright, can you see it? This little thing right here got a little rubber cap on it. You take that little rubber cap off. Get off there, little rubber cap. The little rubber cap's been on there forever. All right, come on, get off there. Woo, look at that. Make sure you keep track of your little rubber cap. But this thing, right? You got your what do they call it? Brake fluid that comes through this brake line here into here, and that's what pushes the brake pads together. Well, what pushes the brake pad together is this piston thing here, right? So that pushes, and it's got a lot of fluid pressure behind it. So the fluid pressure is tremendous, and there ain't no way you can force it unless you relieve the pressure. So you relieve the pressure by loosening this. Sure, you might lose a little bit of brake fluid, but so what? This will help you to push that piston back down. You notice there's a opening right here. What you can do is you can take something like this and you can put it in there, and you can pry and push that piston back down while it pushes out the brake fluid. And you want to make sure this is pointed away from your camera, because you don't want this to squirt out and stick all over your camera, and you don't want it to get in your eye, and you don't want it to get all over your clothes. So you want to point it in a different direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up there like that, and I'm going to loosen that. Come on, loosen. I'm shaking the whole car. All right, am I turning it the right way? Yeah, lefty-loosey. All right, I might need to kind of tap it with this first. Kind of. All right, that loosened it a little bit. All right, so now it should be loose. Doesn't have to be very, very loose. Just loose enough to allow fluid, the brake fluid, to come out of that. Whoops, see, there's a little bit right there. All right, so anyway, see, there's a little bit coming out already. So what I can do now is I can put this in there, kind of pry on it, and push that cylinder back. Alright, might need to loosen that just a pinch more. There we go. See how it pushed out the fluid a little bit? It's because I was pushing that cylinder back. Alright, let me just work on this for a little bit. And it's much easier than trying the other way. Sometimes you can just take take something like, I'm going to use a screwdriver. Let's see. Let me find another tool to stick up in there that might work a little bit better. Right. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stick this in there, and I'm just going to do a little tap, tap, tap. And while I do this, it slowly works that cylinder back. You really don't want to tap it too much. You don't want to break it. Alright, it went back a little bit. You can see the difference there. It didn't go back far enough though. So I need to be able to get this. I need to be able to get that this way, or this that way, or something like that. One or the other. Alright, so I'm going to loosen that a little bit more. And yeah, I will get some fluid out there. But it does make it so much easier. Right, I'm going to set that right there for just a little bit. I should have brought something out to wipe my hands off with. Look at that. Oh, I need to just tighten that down. Don't want the brake fluid to go away too fast. Anyway, there's different ways to do it. Sometimes I just put something in there and just push down on it. There we go. I pushed it back some. Let me tighten that thing back up. That way I don't lose too much brake fluid. I'll turn it over. I'm going to see. They give me any space? Not really. Well, still got to push it in some more, don't I? Alright, so I'm going to get that other block over here. I'm going to put that block right there. And I'm going to set this down on it. And I'm going to try not to twist that brake pad. Or not brake pad, but brake line too much, because you don't want to damage your brake line. That would really cause some problems there if you did that. But I'm going to see if I can get that squished up there without losing too much. How am I going to do this? Alright, I got to figure out what I'm going to do here. Is this tall enough? Not quite. Maybe a little bit. Might need to be a little bit taller. So what I'm going to do is I put two of these together, and I'm going to stick it in there so that one of these edges fits on the edge of that, so that I can get up here and put my weight on it to push it down while it pushes out the brake fluid. I'm going to turn it a little bit so that the brake fluid doesn't shoot out at my camera. I mean, it might shoot out, but I don't think it's going to shoot out. I think it's just going to dribble out just like it was before. But I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to put this in there so that it'll fit on that edge. Make sure I got it on the right edge. And that it's not going to knock over that thing. Am I on the right thing? Oh, actually it needs to go right there. There we go. I think that's it right there. So I'll be able to give it a little pressure. So I'll go ahead and loosen this. And I'm going to push down on it. Come on, you can do it. Sometimes it's a little tougher than others. let me do it a little differently. All right. So, all right. So I'm gonna slide that out. Then I'm gonna put this in there. It's gonna go down in that groove down there at the bottom, and I'm gonna give it a push. All right, get in there. I need something that fits in that groove a little bit better. How about a screwdriver? There we go. Now give it a push back. Oh gosh, go. Yeah, I think that might be part of my problem with these brakes. Push. So you really want to get that pushed back. All right, looks like I'm going to have to. So I've got brake fluid dripping out. So I'm going to try something totally different. Where's that thing at I had? All right. So I'm going to put that up in there. Kind of like that. And I'm going to put my screwdriver. No, actually I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to use this and this. Oh, that don't fit. All right, let me find another one. Oh, found this big one. That'll work. So I'm going to put that there. Then I'm going to tap on the end here. Is it moving? Looks like it might be moving. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Well, I hate to do it, but I might have to open this more. Just push that brake fluid out. All right. Get that out of the way. All right. I'm gonna have to use this thing. The old C-clamp. I've used the old C-clamp before. I don't know if you guys ever keep C-clamps around, but they really come in handy sometimes. Yeah, there we go. Back up and get on there. Push. All right, get on there, C-clamp. Yeah, sometimes they just don't want to fit in the right spot. Right, so let me beat this one. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so there we go. C-clamp. There we go. There we go. Can you see it going in? C-clamp works wonders, doesn't it? That's why I kind of did some of that other stuff, so you could see how much of a hassle it is. But you get that C-clamp, put a tool in there that C-clamp can push on to push down, and it will push this down. As long as you've got the this thing open down there, then it's going to push the brake fluid out. And you take this, just tighten it down, C-clamp, until you get down as far as you can. And yeah, it's a little tough sometimes, but you know what? It works. And that's my little tip, my little secret. And a lot of people sit and pry on it, bang on it, not even open up the little valve thing to let the fluid out. Alright, so let me back off on this. C-clamp works wonders. Let the pressure off the brake fluid and get this thing out of there. I'll show you the difference. Push this thing up. Get that other little tool out of there that I put in there. There we go. That's a little tool I put in there to push on. And now, of course, got a little tape on from that thing. Get out there. Okay. So now you can see how it's pushed back all the way? All right, now it'd be easy to get those new brake pads put in. These are my new brake pads. I got these from Rise, and it comes in a set. It's got these little things here that you can replace on there, and it's got the brake pads. So I'll go ahead and get those open. All right, so you can see how much thicker these are compared to that right there. So you can see a big difference, especially this one. you can see how long I went without replacing those pads. Guess I went a little too long, didn't I? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those, I'm going to stick them in here, and all right, so I'm going to go ahead and stick those in there. I probably don't really have to put, you know, these new things in there. You know, they do recommend putting the new ones in there, but the old ones that are in there really kind of look pretty good. They don't look so bad at all. Not only that, but they're a pain in the you-know-what to put in and take out. So I think I'm going to leave the ones in there that are there. And I'm going to set these in, set them aside, probably keep them in the trunk of the car. So what I'm going to do, because now this thing's flat back there, I can adjust this, and that'll give me the space that I need to put these in here to be able to put it back, fit around this up here. So I know that this one was on the outside, and I know that this one was on the inside. So when I put the new ones on, this will go on the inside, and this one will go on the outside. And I just kind of stick them in there and make sure they fit in their little slot perfectly. And it's like I said, sometimes it's a pain, sometimes it goes smoothly. You just gotta kind of work with it, just a pinch here and there. And, I mean, it's not nothing's ever perfect and easy. So, but just kind of work with it the best you can. Get it in there. All right. See, you can see how I'm getting it into the little groove there on both sides. So that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm working to do here. So I'm just going to sit and work with it. I might need to tap it that way just to pinch. Sometimes you just gotta get it in. All right, I'm gonna work with these for just a little bit, see if I can get that one in. And it doesn't take long. It's just a little finagling trying to get it in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this back one in first, and I'm just gonna take it and kind of put that little thing under, and then just kind of put my finger underneath it to kind of line it up on one side, and then see if I can get it in on the other side. And sometimes you just got to take your screwdriver, kind of push it one way or the other, kind of give it a little what do you call it? Just a little push, because those little metal pieces that are there, kind of, I don't want to say they're out of whack or anything, but they do tend to kind of have a spring tension to them. So you just kind of want to work with it, and when you get it, oop, there we go. So got that in there. Let me hold it here and just give you a quick close-up. And I was talking about these little metal things right in there that are around it. And so you want to push it back as far as you can without it coming out the back side. So just go ahead and push it back, and there we go. All right, so now I'm going to work on getting this front one in. And once I get the front one in, then we're going to lift it up and we're going to put it back around this. All right, where's my front one? Oh, there it is. I found it. Yeah, just make sure you get it in there and get it lined up right. And a lot of times they say put some of that grease stuff on here, but the grease stuff didn't come in my kit, just these little metal things. Now, I guess I totally forgot to get the grease stuff, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it right now. One thing that a lot of people do is they just pop off the old ones, put the new ones on, and you know, just deal with it. It may make a little noise here or there, but I ain't worried about the noise. I just want to get my brake pads replaced. Oh, look at that. It slipped in pretty good. He slipped in easy that time. See? There we go. Now, if you notice, there's space in here. And that space is where it fits over this up here. So now that I've got these in there, and yeah, this is still loose and it is still dripping. I probably ought to tighten that up just a pinch. I don't want it to drip too much. And yeah, you do want to make sure you got brake fluid on hand to be able to replace the brake fluid that you lost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and swing that back over. Make sure you haven't twisted your brake line here. So I'm just going to swing it back over, and I'm going to set it right on there. Now I'm going to get the bolts, those two bolts that I pulled out. Remember these two bolts? And I'm going to go ahead and put them in hand tight. Sometimes you just got to wiggle it around until you get it right in the right spot. There. Am I getting it in there? There, get in there. Is that it? Yeah, like I said, sometimes you just gotta wiggle it around. Oh, there we go. I found it. All right, I got that bolt started. Now I'm gonna go down here on the bottom, get that bolt in where it belongs. It's in the right spot. Sometimes you gotta wiggle it around. All right, there it goes. It's tightening down now. Okay. Just make sure you actually get it in there so that you can actually tighten it down. You don't want to cross the threads. You don't want to strip it. Sometimes it'd be really easy to do that, even though it's steel. You could still kind of get the threads in there a little bit wrong. Is it going? No, that one ain't going. There it goes. Is it? Yeah. All right. There it goes. And just hand tighten it. Oh, get in there. The bottom one wasn't really getting in there. Felt like it was. All right. I'm gonna mess with that for a little bit. Get that bolt in there. Okay, I messed with that. I'm gonna say 5 minutes. And I got that one on the bottom lined up and put in there. It's got the screws started. I mean the threads on there correctly. So now I'm just going to hand tighten it. And go ahead and hand tighten this top one. Alright. Hand tighten the bottom one. Kind of wiggling it while I do it that way. Ooh, dirty hands. That's something you got to be prepared to deal with, is dirty hands, especially working on brakes. All right, so I got that hand tight using a wrench. And then I'll do this one down here. Which way am I going? Righty. Okay. Righty tighty. When they're opposite and I'm coming from the other way, it can sometimes I get confused. All right, so all right, so that's hand tight. And then I come back with this, and let me hold that on there, and then just give it like a few taps like that. That way I know he's on there nice and solid. Alright, so he's on there solid. Alright, so allowing that to drip, a lot of people would think that I'm talking about this right here, allowing that to drip. A lot of people would think, oh, you're going to get air in there. Well, not really, because gravity is feeding the brake fluid down, and it basically just not give air time to get in. But I've got that tightened. I might have to come back later and kind of loosen that, kind of let gravity feed the brake fluid down a little bit. And don't forget your little rubber thing that went on it. The rubber thing helps keep it clean. But anyway, those brake pads are replaced. And yeah, it is recommended to replace this or to get it honed down. I forget what they call it, where they smooth it out. But for now, I just wanted to get these brake pads replaced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in the car and push on the brake pedal a couple of times, put pressure on the brake fluid. I'm also going to go and check the little reservoir just to make sure that it's got plenty in it. Alright, I got in the car and I pressed the brakes a couple of times and it squeezed down, and when I press the brake, right, it forces the fluid through the line here, which pushes that piston thing out, which makes this thing go and press against this on both sides, and that's what stops your car. So it's fitting tight, and I've got this side done. All I got to do is put the wheel back on. But remember, I did lose some brake fluid, so I have to come up here where the reservoir is for the brake fluid, and you can see how it had a suction on it and popped that back out. But if you notice, the max line is like right here, and the brake fluid is kind of low, so always make sure you've got brake fluid handy. And on this car, it is the I'm using the synthetic .3 brake fluid that I got at O'Reilly's. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. And I had already opened it before. I've only had this like 3 days, so it's not old. It's good. And let me swap hands. So just need to make sure I refill this thing. And go slow, because you don't want to just gump it in. And if you notice, down there where my finger is, see how it's a little bit darker on the bottom of the reservoir? You can see that's the fluid there where my finger is. It's a little darker and lighter. You can tell the fluid's rising as I put it in. And I'm going to bring it up to the max line. All right, see that? See how that changed? You can also see it in there. Make sure you put the cap back on, and put your cap on tight, because brake fluid it'll pull moisture out of the air into the brake fluid itself, and after it does that, after you get so much moisture in there, then it kind of like ruins the brake fluid. So that's why they give them in little bottles. You don't want to get like a giant bottle and keep it in your garage forever after you've opened the lid, because it'll go bad over time. And try to clean up your mess as you go. Brake fluid is a little, yeah. Anyway, when you get done putting that in there, just go ahead and put your lid back on, and you should be good to go. So anyway, I went through the process of replacing the brake pad, and I showed you one of my secrets, one of my tricks. Come on, get on there. Yep, there it goes. All right, it's on there now. Good. So I've replaced my brake pads. I made sure I had replaced my brake fluid that I had in there. So this side is done. All I gotta do is put that wheel back on, the hubcap, the lug nuts, pull that stuff out, lower the car down, and then go to the other side and do the exact thing on the other side. Repeat my processes, and it's good to go. New brake pads. Anyway, if you enjoy my videos, give me a thumbs up. If you think I'm doing a good job, let me know. If you think I need to improve on my video editing and processing, that I do, then maybe I should cut that out. Sorry. I've had the burps today. So, anyway, this is my 2007 Honda Civic, and I had little odds and ends I needed to correct on it. Different things that need fixed. And I'm going to end up coming over here and doing the same thing for this side. It shouldn't take very long. I mean, every time I come out here and do work on my car, it kind of rekindles some of my memories on the last time I did it. So it'll help me make it go a little bit quicker. So I'm not going to video doing this side. I've already gone through the process on the other side. But I will put my wheel back on. Is just the reverse of taking it off. And so I'm not going to video that. But anyway, if you... it is hot today. It's 70 degrees. Can you believe it? Wasn't very long ago that we had negative 7 degrees Fahrenheit out here, and everything was freaking... It was like 10 inches of snow and ice, and it melted a little bit here and there when it would get a little bit warmer, and then it refroze on everything, and it was just horrible driving conditions and everything. And I ended up sitting at home for a while. A lot of people did during that time. And I wasn't able to get out and work on my vehicles or do projects. So anyway, I'm going to be doing a bunch of projects around here. I've got different things to do. The boys went to get chickens, baby chickies, and they should be home sometime soon. And I'll do a little follow-up video on the baby chickies. And wish me luck on my projects. And I might build a chicken coop. I had originally thought about using this shed as a chicken coop, but I think I'm going to use that shed for something different. And then I thought, well, where I was doing the compost, maybe I'll do a chicken coop there. Because I'm going to be moving this compost pile and putting it in my 4x8 square foot. One of my 4x8 square foots I've got started over there. So I might just put the chicken coop add it to this just on that side, and who knows. Anyway, I'll make a follow-up video on the chickens and the chicken coop and my gardens and all that good stuff, and talk to you later.